Hello everyone, welcome back to Manga Goblin if you're joining me once again, and hello if you're just starting with this video. Today we're going to review Madeinabyss. That's of course by Tsukushi Akihito and is published by Takeshobo. It's serialized in Manga Life WIN and the webcomic Gamma. It's also published in English by 7 Seas Entertainment. Okay, it's been going since 2012 and there are about 60-ish chapters that you can read. Now, I'm only going to review the chapters that I've read, the 60 ones, not the alternate chapters that you can get, not the spin-offs, nothing like the game that's coming up, nothing like the films or anime. This is purely the 60 plain chapters. There's of course 10 volumes, none of which are available in English by 7 Seas, as I've said. So what's Madeinabyss about? I will put here, before I go on, that this manga has some body horror, it has some psychological stuff, it has some mature themes, which its visuals really, especially the character visuals, don't seem to, well, you look at it and you see one thing and the subject matter is obviously something else. This is the same problem that a few other mangas have, that when I come to them, I'll make note of it as well. Madeinabyss is very hard to review, not because it's lacking in detail. On the contrary, the detail, the world building, the world around the two central characters, Rico and robot friend Reg. Let's just be honest, she's a 12-year-old, he's a robot which looks about the same age. They're put into situations which young kids really probably wouldn't be in. She grows up in this horrible orphanage and constantly ducks out trying to become sort of cave raider. She's training to be one, but she basically takes it onto herself to actually go down to the abyss herself much too early, and before she's even finished her training. Her mother was a very famous cave raider called Liza, and Rico decides to go down to the abyss to try and find her. It is a story of two people's journey trying to find something. Well, obviously they're trying to find the mother, but they're put into such horrible and adult situations which makes the manga far darker than it appears to be. The characters themselves, beyond the main two, are pretty interesting. The director of the orphanage she has some interesting themes, especially with their punishments towards the children. The other ones in the orphanage, Jiro, Nat, Shigi, Q, well, let's just say that each character is pretty well developed. But again, some of the younger characters are put in situations which made me feel uncomfortable, because, you know, there's body horror, there's violence, there's a lot of things that on the surface it looks a cute manga, but when you get down to it, when you look at the details of the world, the maps, the artwork around the characters, the two central characters, it's very grim, it's very... But there's also light moments, there's also humour, so it's a bit odd because it mashes together a lot of themes, and while it does some of them well, especially the world building, the other parts with the body horror, with the characters themselves, I feel that the designs for them are a disservice to what they are. Now, there is a game coming up in 2021, 2022. There's also a live action film, which I probably won't do unless people really ask, because honestly I didn't enjoy the manga outside of the world building itself, simply because I'm not fond of body horror. I'm not fond of trying to force characters which really don't belong in adult situations into adult situations. And that's my biggest issue with Madeinabyss. It seems that it is a manga about coming to age, but it's about coming to age far too early. And while the writing isn't that bad doing that, it's not something that I personally would seek out, except if I wanted to research the world building element of it, which again does very well. Now, as there are over 50 chapters, and I do score things on either 50 chapters plus, or if it's completed, I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5, simply because of the mishmash of themes didn't really gel with me. The artwork is fine, the characters themselves are fine, but the two styles together really don't fit in my opinion. So that's why I'm giving it 2 out of 5 on that. If I was just going to grade the world building, I would give it 4 out of 5, but there are things in it that did make me feel very uncomfortable, especially with the tone later on. And okay, it tries to lighten those situations occasionally by putting humour, by putting like nice things into it, like pleasant interactions between the two main characters and other people. But then again, it will put them into really grim situations with horrible, violent people or gore. I will note that the themes about the abyss itself is really good, and I really like the idea that going further down into the abyss is like going underwater, so the pressure, things won't be, well, in the manga they call it the curse of the abyss, but it's a bit like the bend, so, you know, if you don't depressurize properly, you'll die. But there is a way to like counteract this. For example, Riko is born in the abyss and she's sent above by her mother, so she somehow survived. Now, as I've said, I've only read a few chapters, so maybe if this is revealed more, or I've missed it somehow in me reading them, because I'm going to be honest, I read Scandination versions, so I didn't read the localized ones. I read Scandinations of it. It's alright, it's alright. 2.5 out of 5, or 4 for the world building. But yeah, there we go. I will add that my favourite character in it was Madeinabyss, who is a rabbit that comes again later. So there we go. And she's a bit like a cure-all for like the Malays later. She's really cool. Anyway, that's Madeinabyss. So as it was a request, there we go. Thank you everyone for watching. Do take care of yourselves, and bye bye.